Today we're going to be talking about how to become a rare individual, because success is less about what you should do. We all intuitively know what we need to do to become successful. It's more about who you need to become the person that actually does those things and follows through. Before we start, welcome. My name is Brian and my mission is to help you quit your 9 to 5 and live a life of freedom where you have control over your life and you can do whatever you want. Since I've quit my 9 to 5, I've built a YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers. I've gone traveling in Thailand and I basically just do what I want when I want. And I want the same for you. So why would we want to become rare? Well, for me, ever since I was young, I had this weird complex where I didn't want to be like other people. I used to be a massive gamer, right? And I remember being about 8 years old and I would always pick the games. I used to pick like these really niche multiplayer games that no one else would play. And I used to take pride in the fact that I played games that no one else played. And it got down to the point where if one of my friends found out about the games that I used to play and stopped playing them, I used to like those games less. How weird is that? So ever since even down to the ages of 7 to 8 years old, I never wanted to be like other people. I wanted to be different. Later in my life, I used to have these random empty feelings I used to talk about. And those empty feelings always happened when I didn't really have a direction in my life, where I used to play a bunch of games, watch a bunch of porn, do really bad habits. I used to get these really weird, empty, depressive feelings. And those feelings always went away whenever I felt like I was doing something that was making me rarer, making me more special, and building me skills that aren't common in society. And I've been doing a lot of journaling recently, and I've realized that this is the thing that makes me most fulfilled, striving to be this rare individual. And also, what more is there to life? Material items, you want the car, you want the watch for 2 months, you get the item, the car or the watch, you enjoy it for a month, and then it gets boring and you want the next thing. So material items aren't really the purpose of life. Becoming the best version of yourself is a pursuit that never stops. And for me, even if I don't want those things, it's more about giving myself the option. Even if I decide when I get there that I don't want a nice house, it's nice to know that I can, because not many people can say that. And this is what I've got so far. There's probably more to it, but I need to journal more, explore my ego, explore what holds my mindset together, and I will tell you more when I find out more. The first thing we can do to become more rare is handle the low-hanging fruit. For better or for worse, nowadays, most people are asleep, and I've probably pulled half of these statistics out of my ass, but you know they're true just from intuition, right? 70% of adults drink alcohol, 70% of adults look at porn probably in the last 30 days, 70% of the population will not exercise today, 95% of the population will consume chemical shit food with refined sugar and seed oils today, 95% of the population will spend a significant portion of their day wasting time on TikTok, Facebook, and all of that, and 95% of the population will not work towards a better life for themselves today because they're stagnant. So basically, don't poison yourself, take care of your mind and body, and work towards a better future, and you're already in the top 1% of people. It's funny how much more rare you can become just by not doing things. Let's go more in depth now. So the first pillar of being rare is mindset. And there's a lot of things that go together to make a good mindset, but I've thought of 3 rules that I think encapsulate all of that. The first rule is that you keep your word to yourself. So if you say you're going to do something, you show up. And then you don't just do that thing, you actually try to do it well. Because I've noticed a few times in the past where I go to the gym kind of for the sake of going to the gym. So I've shown up, but I haven't really given that workout everything I've got. So it's important not only to show up, but also to give your best self. The second pillar of a good mindset is being self-aware. You need to realize why you're doing certain things. You need to constantly be asking yourself, is this what you really want? Or is this something that someone else has convinced you to want? You need to be careful because it's easy to waste a lot of time chasing goals and then realize that they're not your goal in the first place. And the third pillar, and the one that's most important and one that I covered a lot in my last video, is being as much your true self you can be. You need to not let other people's opinions affect what you do and how you act. You basically need to be able to do whatever the fuck you want without really caring about other people's opinions. And that's a lot harder to do than you think it is, because a lot of people want to be social media influencers nowadays. And if you're one of those people, you are going to go under a lot of scrutiny for being who you want to be. If you keep your word to yourself 100% of the time, and you always go in and give your best, and if you're always 100% self-aware, you know the deeper reasons behind why you do certain things, then you are literally 1 in a million, because nobody does these things 100% well all the time. The 2 books I can recommend to get these 3 pillars down is, first one, Can't Hurt Me. This will really help you understand how you can keep your word to yourself, show up, and always do your best, because that's what David Goggins is fucking amazing at. That's who wrote Can't Hurt Me. And for the second 2, I would highly suggest you read Reality Transurfing. That book really helps you become your true self, become self-aware, and start heading towards your goals and not goals that other people have set for you. The next pillar is health. And this is quite a simple one, because we've really gone downhill in society lately, man. Hunter-gatherers were literally active for multiple hours every single day. Now, in modern society, 75% of people are overweight and 50% are obese. That statistic is mind-blowing to me. So the bar here is actually really low. To get a top 1% physique, all you really need is about a year of going to the gym consistently, and you're already better than 99% of the population. Diet is also an important one to think about, because modern food is poison. So you need to keep modern food, like all the chemical-filled bullshit, to a minimum. You need to eat whole foods, and when you do consume them, inevitably you're going to go to a restaurant with friends, your family member's going to bake you something, you're going to eat that, right? But you always need to be mindful of how much you're consuming and keeping it to a minimum. And basically, if you have adequate sleep, your cardio is decent, you can actually run for an extended period of time without tasting blood in your mouth like I used to, you're reasonably muscular, and you eat whole foods most of the time, you are 1 in 1,000 at that point. The next pillar is wealth. And this is an important one for me, because wealth isn't just about how much you earn. It's also about how you earn that money. Because anyone with some grit and determination can go and earn slightly above average wage in a 9-to-5. But as you go further down that list, 9-to-5 you love, business you enjoy, purposeful business that you enjoy, you get rarer and rarer. And the rarest of all are people that feel some sort of deeper calling, purpose in the business they do, and they also enjoy it. And it's also an interesting observation that the higher up on this list you are, the easier it is to get. My main income source right now is for a business that I enjoy, but I'm trying to get into the top 0.1%, which is a purposeful business that I also enjoy. And this is why I'm trying to make these videos. And as you experience life and going into business, you'll notice that the higher up in this list you are, the less shit tests you're going to receive from the universe. It's an interesting shit test, because when I worked my 9-to-5, it was generally smooth sailing. I obviously didn't enjoy it, but nothing was like stopping me from going. Like I didn't have any threat to my job security or anything like that. When I then went into a business I enjoy, it was a lot more. I had to work for a long time to get shit going and to actually start making money. I had to work for months without reward to show the universe that I actually deserved it. And now, when I'm getting into this purposeful business that I enjoy, it's that but tenfold. And the last pillar is relationships. This really annoys me. I have quite a strong opinion on this, because the common notion in today's society is that the alpha male with 10, 20 girlfriends is a top 1% man. But in my opinion, all that leads to is these empty, soulless relationships. They basically just exist for sex. They're always conditional, like they're based on very shit foundations. They're gonna crumble with any, like, if one of the people change just a little bit, the 2 people are gonna break up. There's basically nothing deeper there. The relationship doesn't exist for any good reason. A real relationship that you develop with one person over an extended period of time requires more discipline and work, but yields far more rewards. I mean, think about it. You can have 10, 20 girlfriends, but what are you really achieving from that? You're not getting any connection with any of those girls. That's anything beyond like the surface level, and all you're really achieving is getting your pee-pee wet, and you're probably hurting a lot of those women in the process. A lot of these alpha male types will say that if you're honest with yourself, you want more than one woman. But I think this is the equivalent of saying that you want the chocolate cake that's downstairs right now and you want McDonald's for lunch, but you won't eat that, will you? Those people don't eat junk food, and having all of these girlfriends is the equivalent of having junk food. It's like this empty, pointless thing that you just do for your current present enjoyment. Developing this real deep relationship with one person is like going to the gym consistently and getting something deeper, something more rewarding than just the food you're putting in your mouth. And it's actually really sad because most men will fall for this notion and they're never going to feel the warmth of a real loving relationship. And nowadays, that's what's truly rare, because a lot of these alpha males, if they're honest with themselves, they had their heart broken when they were 16 or 17 and they've shut themselves off to real love forever. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.